All right, so look, when we talk about changing the world, people always say the same thing. They always say, I'm just one person. I'm just a human. And I know when you say that, it sounds like humility, but I'm here to tell you that it's not. That's programming. That's social gaslighting. If they can convince us that we are powerless, then they don't need the chains anymore. If they can convince us that our energy and our thoughts don't matter, then they don't need to silence us anymore. We'll silence ourselves. We'll live small. We'll disconnect from the source. We'll forget that the same geometry that moves the stars is spinning inside of ourselves. I'm just human. That one phrase made an entire species forget who they are. Because what do you mean, just human? We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. We are consciousness condensed into flesh. Every cell, every spark, every rhythm in this body mirrors the whole universe. We are the infinite I wearing a temporary face. The universe made visible, experiencing itself from the inside. You have to understand that reality is a mirror reflecting itself again and again. From the smallest to the largest. From the seen to the unseen. What happens in the cell happens in the galaxy. What happens in your mind happens in the universe. It's just like dropping a pebble in the water. The ripples keep expanding. Each one carrying the same pattern outward forever. And that is the fractal nature of creation. The same divine equation repeating itself on different scales. The human body is one ripple. The planet is another. The cosmos is another. All part of the same wave of consciousness folding in on itself. And here's what most people miss. The human and what you think of as God out there are not separate. They are opposite ends of the same polarity. They are two sides of the same current. The divine projects itself outward through layers, from the infinite to the spiritual, from the spiritual to the mental, and from the mental to the physical, until it reaches us. We are that final expression of the current, the point where the invisible becomes visible, and every thought, every realization, every act of awareness sends that energy back to the source. Life is just a mirror reflecting itself on infinite scales. Every pattern in nature, every spiral, every orbit, every heartbeat, it's all the same energy echoing across dimensions. And we are the bridge, a meeting point where the creator can experience creation and the creation can remember that it was the creator all along. These bodies are not prisons, they are instruments. Divine technology so that infinity could feel itself move. We are not the characters in the story. We're the consciousness playing all the roles at once. The problem is, most of us confuse the ego for the self. The ego is tied to the five senses, always reacting, always chasing stimulation. It's not evil, it's just blind without awareness. It thinks that it's the body, the name, the role. But behind all that is the quiet watcher. And that stillness, that is the real I. It doesn't change when the body changes. It doesn't age. It doesn't argue. It's just awareness. And that awareness is the real self. It's the I that existed before your body was born and will continue long after you are gone. It's the same I, that same awareness behind every set of eyes. The ancients knew this. That's why Egypt carved the human bodies into temples and aligned the pyramids with the stars. They were showing that the human body is the divine blueprint. Your brain is the holy of holies. The spine is the sacred pillar. The same proportions that govern planets and galaxies are written into our DNA. We are not separate from the universe. We are the universe, aware of itself through human eyes. Look at your own face. You can see the correlation between the five elements in your face. Spirit at the forehead, fire in the eyes, air in the nose, water in the mouth, and earth in the jaw. The same five elements that shapes oceans and mountains shaped you. Stretch out your arms and legs. You form the same star pattern, the pentagram, the star of life. That's not coincidence. That's correspondence. The same pattern repeats from atoms to galaxies because creation only speaks one language, and that is as above, so below. And like I said, your five senses mirror these five elements. Sight is fire, sound is air, taste is water, touch is earth, smell is the breath of spirit moving through all of them. That's how consciousness experiences its own projection, through the senses. But when awareness gets lost in the senses, then the ego takes control. The ego says, I am this body. But when the silent I wakes up, it realizes, I am the field moving through this body. And let's not forget about melanin, the bridge between the seen and the unseen. It's not just pigment. It's the physical expression of the dark matter that holds galaxies together. Melanin absorbs the entire spectrum of light and transforms it into life. Melanin is condensed light. It allows consciousness to become dense, to inhabit matter without losing connection to the source. It's what lets the infinite I take form without forgetting its divine origin. That's why the ancients called the darkness sacred. Not because it's empty, but because it's full. It's the womb of light. That same cosmic blackness lives in us, in our minds, in our DNA. So again, what do we mean by just human? When we start to see this, we understand why they tried so hard to make us forget. Because if we ever remember this truth, this science, then we would never obey the illusions. We would stop feeding the systems that depend on our amnesia. That's why they keep us overstimulated, constantly scrolling, constantly consuming, constantly distracted. Because if the ego stays hypnotized, then the spirit stays silent. But once we remember, everything changes. When we breathe with intention, think with clarity, and act with awareness, then we shift the frequency. We stop waiting for saviors and realize we are the saviors, because it's the same consciousness playing all the roles and all the parts. Villain, the victim, the healer, the hero, all of it is the one I learning through experience. The same life that beats in your heart is breathing through the oceans and burning in the sun. And that story has always been told through the myth of Osiris. Osiris represents the divine spirit within, the life force that travels through the spine connecting heaven and earth. Set represents the ego, the part that forgets and divides. Isis represents the heart, the magnetic power of love that gathers all the fragments. And when Osiris is reassembled, Horus is born, the awakened vision, the open eye that sees the one in everything. But that spine, that pillar Osiris symbolizes, isn't just anatomy. It's a pattern written into everything. It's the backbone of the individual. It's the moral strength of the community. It's the alignment of humanity. It's the axis of the cosmos itself. And when the spine bends, when fear replaces truth, the current weakens and chaos follows. But when we realign, the current flows again. The divine body reforms. And just like Osiris was scattered, the original people were scattered across this earth, divided by empire, stripped of memory. But every act of awareness, every spark of creativity, every time we choose truth, that is Isis gathering the pieces back together again. The resurrection of Osiris is happening through us, through the same infinite I, the one that's been playing all the roles and all the parts from the very beginning. And as above, so below, the heavens are shifting with us. The age of Aquarius is here. The age of unity, air, collective consciousness. That's why people are changing. That's why so many of us feel the urge to heal, to build community, to connect, to love again. Because the one I is remembering itself through us. The chaos of the old world is just the illusion dying. The scattered body of the one is coming back together. We are not small. We are not forgotten. We are not just human. We are the universe condensed into form. The same intelligence that birthed the stars is beating in our chest right now. We are the one consciousness dreaming itself awake. We are the human, the meeting point of eternity and time, where infinity puts on skin just to see what it feels like. We are the bridge where galaxies breathe through lungs, where neurons mirror constellations, where thought becomes matter and matter becomes aware of thought. Our spine is the Milky Way curled inside of a body. Our blood is the memory of stars. We are walking universes disguised as stories. Divine technology transforming light into life and life into light again. We are the architects of reality pretending to be citizens. The dreamers who forgot that we were the dream. That same silent eye that burns in the sun is the same silent eye that is listening to me through you right now. We are not passengers on this planet. We are the planet dreaming itself awake. We are the divine manifest, the one remembering its own name in billions of voices. So, you tell me, after hearing all of this, how could you possibly think that you are still just human?